Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. My name is Reuben, joined here today with Anders, and we are back to talk about The Boys, Season 5, Episode 4, King of Hell. And before we get into today's episode, I want to let you guys know that you can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts, and go ahead and check out our Patreon page if you want more Nerd Soup. That's actually where you're going to find some Invincible content, and I think we're going to be making more Invincible content. Not to get on to Invincible, but how about that episode 7, Anders?
Oh man, I can't wait to watch the finale tonight. I'm so excited and nervous at the same time.
Were you one of those guys doubting Thrag? Were you doubting his aura?
No. Okay. Once I saw his hairline, I knew he doesn't play games.
Oh man, that's sharp.
His barber must be the safest person in the universe.
And yeah, follow us on social medias at Nerd Soup, at Beau Soup, at Andres. Just like Cam, it's a scavenger hunt. If you can find Andres on social media, it will give you something. You have any tokens, Andres? You have anything you want to get rid of? Any clutter?
I definitely have clutter.
Okay, we'll figure something out. We'll send the team over. Yeah, The Boys, Season 5. So the first video that I did with Cam, I had mentioned that Season 4 to me was a bit of a mixed bag. I felt like the narrative at times was a bit rudderless, especially when it came to the heroes. But Homelander's always been interesting. And I think with this episode especially, pairing him with Soldier Boy and them playing with the idea, is Soldier Boy helping him because maybe he wants to embrace being a father? Maybe he was actually moved by what Firecracker said, that Homelander looks up to him?
I never said that. You want my help or not?
And then playing with the generational gaps as well, because it's not only their father-son relationship, but also Ryan and Homelander, Ryan and Butcher. And I felt like The Boys in this specific episode, it was a fun problem for them to figure out, that they're trying to find the V1. There's this plant virus that's making these people angry, so they kill themselves, and then the plant feeds on the corpses. And Frenchie's immune because he's been a druggie for so long. So I thought that was clever, and it was fun to see them have to deal with that, and also the threat of running into Homelander and Soldier Boy. So there was a lot of tension in this episode, anticipating a confrontation. We didn't quite get a physical one. We got a verbal one, which I thought was actually pretty awesome between Homelander and Butcher. But yeah, Andres, I want to get your thoughts on this episode and how you think Season 5 is shaping up so far. You know, we're halfway through, so we only have 4 episodes left. This is it.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that it's the final season, but I guess just with like the way everything's lining up now, it's like how much crazier is it about to get? Like the whole God dynamic, or how they're twisting like the church into making Homelander a literal god. It's it's definitely interesting to see how that's gonna play out. And like the way like Firecracker and like Sage and, you know, just like everyone behind the scenes is like trying to pull the strings and get involved.
Yeah, the meeting of them trying to figure out the best way to market this was so funny, dude, because they're literally talking about something so serious and sensitive as faith. It's like, how can we get the numbers up to where more people believe Homelander's God than actual Jesus or whatever faith they have? So it's just totally ridiculous, them like crunching the numbers and throwing around strategies. And then Firecracker, she's been a fun character too. I really enjoy the actress who plays her, but you know, just making a total mockery of all these news hosts. Feels like every other, or like every few years, there's a new face of that propaganda machine. So I like that the way the Boys has played with that role as well. The successor to somebody like a Stormfront or even a Madeline Stillwell, you know, who's going to help push this propaganda for Homelander while also stroking his ego and then getting something out of it in return. So that moment with Ashley, when Ashley's head, the back of her head, said she doesn't even believe in this.
That's such a funny power. I thought it was great that like right after Soldier Boy and Firecracker hooked up, Homelander smelt it off her like immediately.
And them competing the whole episode, like when they were going back and forth about Stormfront, you never get your dick wet. He's like, yeah, Stormfront will know.
Oh, my dick was sopping wet when I pulled it out of Stormfront and wiped it on her fucking chin.
I mean, I know she was a Nazi, but damn.
Wasn't she also like kind of his mom?
Yeah, basically, yeah, his Nazi mommy.
Oh yeah, so you mentioned earlier, do I think that Soldier Boy actually cares about Homelander's feelings or like being a father to him? I don't think he does. I think he just kind of views this as a situation that like he can benefit from and not have to be like the main person in power. I don't think Soldier Boy necessarily wants to be like the front face. So I feel like he sees an opportunity to like have a perfect like second position, you know, where he can kind of just do whatever he wants.
It's like in The Sopranos when Tony props up his uncle. Like if anything goes wrong, he's going to be the face of it. So it's not me who thinks I'm a god. But I'll go along with this because, yeah, it brings me that relevancy and that fame that he craves. And, you know, they're more alike than Soldier Boy wants to admit when he's telling him about his file that he never even fought in war. It was his brother. And then he is the one who volunteered and begged to be a part of these experiments so that he can play soldier and play hero and have all the fame and the glory and the women. But he's just as shallow as his son. His son, unfortunately, I mean, I think Soldier Boy, the actor, is just so good at playing this character. And he's just so dumb, too. So in many ways, they're both very pathetic, but it's a bit different. Like when he's saying, just get it over with. And even then, Homelander won't kill him. He's pretty much an empty shell as well when, you know, you pull back the layers of that character. But he's still just so damn funny. You know, he's just likable, Jensen Ackles, as this character.
Oh, my God. A couple of uggos.
Oh, look, more uggos. Friends of yours?
He's definitely one of the funniest characters in the show.
Like when Sister Sage is trying to give him the hint, he's like, nobody summons me. But no, I think that's a great point, is that, yeah, he can, like, I'll destroy the V1 because I don't want this cunt to be immortal. I'm also, like, cool playing number 2.
And like even the thing with Sage, it's like, yeah, at first Soldier Boy was like, I don't take orders. But then like as soon as she started making sense, he listened and followed her orders.
Yeah, that's interesting too. Maybe it's, you know, Sage, they didn't get her opinion on this whole God thing. She wasn't a part of any of those meetings. So maybe this is the beginning of her plan to make Soldier Boy the guy that she wants to lead things. That she's now got a different agenda, because that very much felt like, I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Then I'm going to get rid of the V1 and also Homelander. And this guy seems more willing to listen to me.
Sidebar, but I think just like watching the Deep eat sushi and like just a bunch of fish and him just being like, oh, like why was I waiting? So like that just shows he like lost every last bit of like self-respect he had, even though that was probably gone a while ago.
That's a great point, because Cam was wondering on the last video if there was any sort of redemption for the Deep. And that really is him. Yeah, no, that's killing the last embers. It's just hilarious, dude. Because when Homelander made him eat his friend, remember that? It was so dramatic and sad. And now he's like, oh, the fish, they die for me. What a great honor.
There's almost a better chance Black Noir has like redemption over the Deep at this point.
Well, it would be funny too if the reason is that he feels so betrayed by the Deep. Because he really committed to playing this role after being so talkative. And the Deep just totally fucked him over for no reason. And it's funny because Cam was like, ooh, is like any theories with Black Noir? Maybe it's one of the characters from Gen V. And it's like, no, it's just the Deep being an asshole. So that's what's going to send him over to the boys. That's been funny too. Have you liked what they've done with the Deep this season?
I mean, I definitely think he's like a good comedic relief, considering how crazy things get in the show. I think he is like actively getting dumber. And like, that's like back to the argument of like, I don't think there's any redemption in this guy.
Yeah, speaking of redemption, it's funny because you texted me when you were watching the episode first about Starlight's dad. And I figured like, oh, I'm going to hate this. You know, it always breaks my heart when it's, you know, the parent who left home and you go and confront them and you realize that there's no type of relationship there. You know, there's no possible future for you guys. But by the end of it, I was actually very moved by that storyline. And I feel like sometimes they do struggle with the good guys, that they put them in these little subplots that don't really add much to the character that we already didn't know. But I feel like this is something that Starlight has needed, because even though she's had the boys, she has Huey. It's like her back is against the wall and the entire world wants her head. She's been made, you know, public enemy number 1.
Her little brother is so whack. He's a narc.
I was waiting. I thought it was going to be the mom when she closed all the blinds, like, oh, we got her. like Homelander's gonna love us because we found Starlight. But even that, he's remorseful at the end.
Yeah, no, I take back the text I sent because when it was happening initially, I was like, this guy's just like a dirtbag father. But then like once he like opened up his shoebox filled with like all this Starlight stuff, I was like, all right, but like he could have at least like sent her like a letter or something and just been like, hey, like, I'm sorry, but good luck. I love you or some shit. But he literally just ditched her completely.
Yeah, no, it was a no excuses type of apology. He explained why he did it. It's like the kid who wanted to be a movie star, but they don't realize they're being taken advantage by their parents. You don't want to kill her dream, but you also don't want to be the unethical person in this relationship. So yeah, no, he shouldn't have left, but he does apologize. And as I mentioned, I was moved by their interactions and the moment with the cop and the stroganoff.
I thought it was pretty funny with like the whole rage virus or infection thing going on, the way Huey started acting and talking to the gang, like just compared to like earlier in the show.
Dude, when MM was like, I'll fuck you up, I was like, yo, like, what's going on?
I was like, why is Huey starting a fight with MM?
I also didn't like how Huey was, it feels wrong that Huey can fight with MM, MM feels like Big Brother.
Yeah.
It's like Spider-Man punching Captain America. It's like, I know he's stronger and I know Huey's capable, but just doesn't feel right. But yeah, no, that at first I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But then I picked up pretty early that Frenchie was immune. I was like, I wonder if that's just a French thing. Turned out to be a drug thing.
It still throws me off, like, that Kimiko talks. I think it's funny. Like, I think it's like a really funny thing to do. Just like, I feel like it just throws off everyone, but I do think it's like a fun element.
Yeah, I feel like at first it was weird because you're so used to her not talking, but you're used to the facial expressions. So then putting words to her mannerisms at first was a little jarring for me. But I feel like she's really settled into that. And I like the way that she, at times she'll do the sign language with Frenchie because that's almost like their comfort language. And I think that's sweet, even though I think their relationship has become a bit obnoxious.
I agree.
I preferred them fighting in this episode. But that was fun. I feel like it was a fun situation, what we would see earlier in The Boys. It was almost like a Star Trek. How do you figure this out? And the two missions going on at once, them fighting each other, but also trying to find the V1.
It's like I wouldn't go as far to say that like this was a filler episode by any means, but like I do definitely think it's like probably one of the last episodes where like no one important dies or like something insane happens,
No, it didn't. I don't know. The ratings aren't up yet. I think maybe episode 1 so far was the best because with the A-Train moment and then the reunion for the boys, seeing how they were going to react to Butcher. It feels like that's been the standout so far. But I feel like the scene between Homelander and Butcher here was maybe my favorite scene of the season so far. I always love seeing Butcher dress down Homelander, and I think this was the best maybe conversation they've had so far.
And I also think it might be the weakest we've seen Homelander.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that was actually like shocking to see. Homelander in such a weakened state, because I feel like we've seen moments where characters get the better of him, where they get the last word, or they make him feel insecure. But that was something totally different. That's like seeing an athlete at the end of their career and it finally hits you that they don't have that burst anymore. To see Homelander in a weakened state was a little strange. And, the betrayal there where you're starting to think maybe Soldier Boy is, he doesn't like him, but he's going to help him because it also helps himself. And I was wondering too, if that's going to come back into play. If everything fails with the V1, is it something where we get him in a weakened state? And, the contrast too of calling himself God and then getting hard evidence that he can possibly be killed, if he's in this weakened state and somebody's there trying to punch him and shit. So maybe that will come back into play, Homelander and Ryan duking it out, or Butcher as well, tag teaming him while inside this radiation cell. Dr. Manhattan could have eaten that. Are you kidding me?
He wouldn't have even flinched.
It's an afternoon on the fucking beach. Homelander's over there coughing like a sick child. Fucking Butcher said he was going to be shitting his spine out.
I don't see any way this doesn't end without like Butcher and Homelander both dying.
Yeah, I feel like that's been coming for a long time, but it's a matter of how do you do that without it feeling telegraphed at this point? How do you make it fun? Is it just you go all out where it's like there's so much collateral damage, they're literally throwing each other into buildings? But that almost feels cliche. That feels like something they've avoided. That the show it's antithetical to that.
I have a feeling Butcher probably doesn't have that much time left with how much Compound V he's using.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I guess there's the time bomb there.
I feel like he might utilize Ryan again. I just wish he could communicate with his son better.
It's always so frustrating, the guy you just can't say I love you. Just tell the kid you love him.
He literally says the worst possible things he could say to his son in the most critical moments.
He's like, you don't even care about me. And Butcher's like, I'll get you a bottle of water. Like, bro, I don't want a bottle of water. I want a goddamn hug. Tell me I'm doing the right thing. Tell me it's not my fault. No, I think Ryan's an interesting X Factor too. I mean, have you seen Gen V?
I haven't seen the most recent season. But
okay, but you know Marie.
One. Yes.
That's the other big candidate for killing Homelander.
She's like the bloodbender, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a great power.
What do you think about that too? Of, Homelander having the opportunity to take his revenge on Soldier Boy, and he doesn't. It's the second time that Soldier Boy has tried to kill his son, and his son forgives him. Do you think maybe that even moves Soldier Boy? Like one of those, I've done nothing with my life. I'm a fraud. Let me at least help my kid, who may be an even bigger fraud.
I think he just sees through Homelander, and he just views that like this is a scenario he can benefit from. I think in Homelander's mind, he doesn't want to kill Soldier Boy because he wants both a father figure and also he's like yearning for someone who's not afraid of him. Like he just gets like annoyed when people get afraid of talking to him, and he's like the only one he views as an equal at this point.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those like, I look up to you, but I also want to surpass you, and I want you to be here for that. I want you to see me become God. What you could never be. And it doesn't
really seem like Soldier Boy's ever going to respect him.
Yeah, and it is interesting too because he is trying to get the V1, and it's something Soldier Boy already has inside of him. So I feel like the power scaling in this show has never been so important, but it's interesting to think about who would win in a fight if they did throw down.
I mean, I feel like the biggest thing is that Homelander can fly, but other than that, they're kind of pretty even. At least like Soldier Boy has the bomb thing and Homelander has laser vision. Yeah, Homelander still might be faster.
Yeah, no, we've never seen Soldier. I thought that was a little silly when Frenchie was luring Soldier Boy into the room to
rage baiting him. Yeah,
that was so. I'm like, is Soldier Boy that dumb?
I thought Frenchie was about to get himself killed, just rage baiting Soldier Boy.
Dude, yeah, no, like I feel like if you're Soldier Boy and that guy who you know is an asshole who tried to fuck you over, you would just punch him in the face and kill him.
Yeah, like Soldier Boy already knows all of them.
Yeah, I know. But he was like so distracted. It just felt so Scooby-Doo, or it's just a little silly. Like there's no way Frenchie should have walked out of that alive.
That was definitely a good moment though between Soldier Boy and that former soldier.
Yeah. A lot of theories that he's his brother. And it looks like he was the one controlling the virus.
And I guess after Soldier Boy killed him, he was just like, all right, guys, I'll see you later. Like, he just, I don't really know what happened.
I mean, I could see that too, where it's he crashes out. Maybe he goes off of the deep end after having a confrontation like that. Because it's very much like, and they did this in season 3 too. Soldier Boy, your time is over. It's your era has passed, and you're just a fossil. You don't even belong in this world anymore. And maybe that realization is going to hit him in the back half of this season. I thought they were going for like, maybe they kill Homelander in this episode and make Soldier Boy the main villain.
I'm glad they didn't kill off Soldier Boy earlier this season, like when they first tested out that virus.
Oh, did you think he died? I thought he was dead, dude.
I thought
was
maybe.
Like, he's fucked. Yeah, no, that would have been such a disappointment.
Starlight has to return to the group so they can get shit done.
Dude, she's one like, God, I just wish she was more powerful. It feels like she should be more powerful.
I mean, if she's already pro, like, all superheroes die, then I feel like she might as well use Compound V and, like, up her powers.
I don't even remember when she left in episode 3. Like, I don't even remember that conversation that she had with Huey, that she was going to find her dad. When she just wasn't there in this episode, I was like, where the hell did Starlight go?
Oh yeah, I guess you could also tell that like that rage virus was getting everyone when Huey started complaining about her, and he just straight up called her a bitch, and Kimiko looked at him like, "Bruh."
Yeah, no, I guess it hit him a little early, and he didn't even apologize for it. He's like, I didn't mean for that to come out so harsh. It's like, whoa, so you still meant to call her a bitch? What the fuck, Huey? I thought you were
Huey
one of
was
the good
moving
ones.
different. He got infected immediately. He was a dick before everyone else.
Because he even got mad when Butcher was disgusted by Huey says fuck me when he sees the dead body. And Butcher's like, she's not my type. And he was like, whoa, show some respect. Like, bro, Huey, there's like, it's just us. It's just the boys.
I just thought it was so funny when Huey called MM a bitch and Butcher was like, are you going to let him like say that? Like, are you just going to take that?
Yeah, he called him a pussy. No, that just felt so disrespectful because it feels like MM's always been so nice to Huey and Butcher's always been such a dick. And then Butcher immediately instigates.
Huey needs to apologize next episode.
No, he really does, dude. That's like, you get him a gift card, get him a nice hip hop shirt. You're going to have to win back MM's trust. But Butcher is such a dick. He's like, the virus barely changed him. Everybody else was so noticeably angrier. But I feel like with Butcher, it could have been just like normal Butcher, with the shit.
That's actually a really good point. He seemed like the least affected, second to Frenchie up till the end.
Yeah, like he seemed a little bit more on edge, but not so much like the other characters. What did you think about Ashley and Oh Father?
I thought that's a pretty funny dynamic.
Bro, the size of that dildo.
That was crazy. That shit? Yeah. And when Firecracker walked into the room and was like, yo, what the hell?
Bro, it straight up looked like a garden gnome.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley's always been freaked out, but yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, and then he's like, the church is in debt $150 million. So he's like what do they call it? The Democratic Church of America. It's such a great name.
I do find it funny that his power is like voice based, and like I don't know if you remember, like you ever saw like the original Hamilton, but he was in it.
Oh, so, okay, that's funny.
Yeah,
no, Daveed Diggs. He's been really fun as his character so far, and they really haven't missed with their castings throughout the years, dude. I feel like these actors, they come on this show and they really go for it. They don't hold back. They really embrace the goofiness and the silliness. And they take it all just so seriously. Like somebody like Chase Crawford, when he's talking about how the Homelander loves him now because of what he did with Stan Edgar. Like all these characters who are constantly walking around in their fucking superhero costumes, but they're having these conversations that in a way that's very relatable to just our culture and political system and climate.
Yeah, no, the writing is so good at times, and the way it plays, like you said, like the parallels to what our current society is, like both politically and like just like in the media space in general.
Yeah, so they said Bombsight has taken the V1, so it's still out there. I think that's something I talked about with Cam too, is that they've really fallen into the trap over and over again of we need to just get this one thing, and that's what really drives the narrative. And I think that's gotten a little stale over the years.
Yeah, it's like at this point, what else can they really do? I mean, to be fair, it's finally the last season, so I guess we'll see. And like the only option at this point is Homelander gets the cure and he becomes immortal, or they kill him beforehand. Or somehow Homelander becomes immortal and they find a way to kill him after that. But I don't know how they'll do that.
I feel like for just the sake of shocking your audience going into like an episode 8, Homelander has to get the V1.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe Homelander wins.
I agree.
That could be really fucked up, dude. Like Homelander just wins. Like he is the god dictator of this world now.
I could see it being that Huey is like the only remaining survivor of like the original crew.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like Butcher and Homelander, we want them to die fighting each other, but it does feel like
too cliche.
Yeah, like everybody but no, that's if as long as it's delivered. Like at the end of the day, you want to see Luke and Darth Vader fight. But it's like, what's going to be the twist? And the twist there was, well, Darth Vader then kills the Emperor. Like, there's a bigger bad. And they already did that in season 3, it feels like, when Butcher and Homelander teamed up against Soldier Boy. So, what's going to be the twist? But it feels like Frenchie, Kamiko all have to die. Starlight, maybe.
I mean, at this point, it seems like Starlight is ready to die. I don't want her to, but like just in the sense of how she portrays herself and like speaks of like she feels that she's done so much wrong that like the only right she can do is like sacrificing herself.
Yeah, it feels like Starlight just because the character, and I like Starlight's character a lot.
Me too.
I think she's a good hero. And it feels like the show needs to find a way to have that character's reputation rehabilitated.
I would like it if she managed to kill the Deep somehow. Or like cut his dick off. I feel like that would be in the realm of the boys anyways.
Yeah, no, she definitely needs to get like some good fights in. I guess Maeve is never coming back, right? Maeve's done.
I think so, yeah. I would like to see if like maybe they could get like Black Noir to turn face, because he seems like the only person in that group that might do it. I think the Deep is dumb, but he is loyal. And also just afraid of betraying Homelander.
Oh yeah, he's never going to do it. No, but I'm legitimately excited to see how this, because this is the most ambitious PR stunt that they've pulled so far. They've done cover-ups, they've done smear campaigns, they've done presidential campaigns, and all different types of things, like Homelander on trial for murder. But selling Homelander as God, because I think that even though sometimes I'm less engaged with the actual story, I feel like the comedy is always pretty funny. Maybe I'm just immature, but I think it is funny. And it's been consistently funny throughout the years. So I think it's just going to be hilarious watching these knuckleheads try and pull this off.
Yeah, me too. But I give the writers so much credit just because, like, not that I'm trying to like trash the source material at all, but like the comics were very different as opposed to like what they've made of this show. And I just got to respect how much like they've put into this show compared to like what was in the source material. So
dude,
I
the
guess
source material, it legit seems like some of the worst shit ever, the comic books.
Yeah, I know. That's what I hear.
Like they took a good concept that started strong, but then goes way off the deep end. And it feels like in many ways they grounded a lot of the wilder aspects of the comic. For some people, that might be a little hard to believe.
Yeah, like even like a lot of the sexual scenes that like people consider over the top or that like would make them uncomfortable in the comics, it's so much worse.
Oh yeah, dude. Like stuff that's just totally shock jock slop, where they're not even trying to to make it, you know, like with the boys, and I feel like they've gotten criticized too with some of the shocking scenes. I feel like they always try and focus on the consequences to those actions as well. Whereas in the comics, some of those panels, it's just like they're doing it to gross you out or to shock you. And that's really it. And then the story moves on.
Exactly. Like it doesn't feel like there was any meaning to it in the sense of the story.
Right. Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see how it ends up shaping up these last 4. Next episode is One Shots. Still, that's the only title they have on the Wikipedia and the IMDb. But yeah, Homelander as God. I'm excited to see it. Would you join?
Homelander's crew?
Yeah, I feel no, you're more of a Starlight terrorist.
Starlighter?
Yeah, you're one of those troublemakers. I mean, dude, if there's like a guy flying around, I'm like, he's got a case. What? I can't let him make his case?
That's a fair point.
He's flying.
I like that one of the suggestions was like we could have him turn water into wine.
They were going to have him part the Red Sea, but then they were like, we'll need the VFX team. They're already cutting costs on his miracles. All right, guys, that does it for our review of The Boys Season 5, Episode 4. We'll be back next week for Episode 5. Looking forward to that. Andres, thanks so much for joining me. I'm excited to talk Invincible with you as well.
Peace out.
What is it?
Me too.
I just like imagine you at your desk, like throwing up the peace sign.
I am.
Like you were just so focused on having a cool goodbye, you just totally ignored everything I said and just it was your time to peace out.
It's like when someone knows exactly what they're gonna say before you like even finish your sentence.
Just hit me with more aura than Paul. You got that Paul aura.